Um, Another Hebrew word, guys, kesher. Kesher means connection. Kesher is actually the most important thing that God imbues in members of the Jewish community and members of the community at large. But I'll speak from both perspectives. As a Jew, having kesher, having connection with my shul, my fellow Jews, my fellow practicers of the month of Elul, which we're in right now, which is a reflective month. Connection with the laws of the Torah, connection with the sort of cultural Judaism that has been imbued in us through the writings of everyone from Bernard Malamud to Woody Allen to Jerry Seinfeld to 1,001 other people that I think have spoken this Jewish law, to going and having breakfast at Nate and Al's and having a piece of Nova with a schmear. This is also kesher. This is kesher with my grandfather and his grandfather. To eating those black and white cookies, which I think originated somewhere in Poland 100 years ago, which are really, really good. To loving black licorice, such a Jewish thing. Anyway, very, very important, because I think that there's three different ways to look at one's Judaism and the kesher that you have with it. Number one is obviously to study the rules of our law and the interpretation thereof. And there are some people that are much more tzedek than me that can really understand the meanings of Mishnah and Talmud and Midrash and all those kinds of things. But to study the laws that were given to us by God. Number two, to understand our cultural kesher with each other, our cultural connection. What is the story of Jews from Eastern Europe? What is the story of Jews from Germany? What are the stories from Jews that have been living in America for generations? What are the stories of the Sephardic Jews and the Jews of Syria, the Jews of Iraq, the Jews of Iran? Okay, because the Jews of Morocco, an amazing, beautiful story. There were many, many of them before 1952 that nobody ever knew existed. So, cultural Judaism, because if you remember what real kesher is like if you go to Israel, you see Jews from Argentina and Jews from Yemen and Jews from Russia and Jews from Saudi Arabia all bring their cooking, their language, their clothing, their music, and they throw it in one absolute pot of mamash nonsense, which is a beautiful thing. But it's in a way, very much like America, too. It's like a big gumbo. And the last part of kesher is, as I said, with Israel, having kesher with Israel. Very important thing. Because it doesn't matter what level of religion you are, how are you Reformed, Conservative, Orthodox, Hasidic. To have kesher within the pale, and I'm using a very, very pointed word for those of you that understand what a pale is, within the pale of our settlement in this country, is to be able to say Shabbat Shalom to an old grandmother or a young kid that's coming out of the cheder for the first time. So stay close to that, because these are 3,000-year-old traditions that we still talk about and we still live, and it's the way we live. It's who we are. It's like on Rosh Hashanah, why do we have the apple with the honey on top to bring in the new year? You know what I mean? Why do we break the fast always with white fish and lox as opposed to meat? Okay? Small little things like that, which might seem funny to other faiths, to us is a way of life. And I think that we are able to bring our vernacular and our experience in that out in the world a little bit more. And it's something to be very proud of, and it's one of the sweetest things I think about being a member of this magnificent moving tribe. Anyway, thank you.